Joseph was Jacob's 11th son and the firstborn of his beloved wife, Rachel. Joseph's story is told in Genesis 37-50. The Bible also says that Jacob loved Joseph more than all his sons because he had had him in his old age. And he made him a coat of many colors. Joseph's brothers knew that their father loved Joseph more than they did, and this led them to hate him. Worse still, Joseph began to have dreams, which he told his family, prophetic visions showing that one day he would rule over them. The animosity of Joseph's brothers toward him reached its peak when they planned to kill him in the wilderness. Reuben, his older brother, opposed the killing and suggested that they throw him into a cistern instead because he planned to return to save him. While Reuben was away, merchants passed by, and Judah offered to sell Joseph to them as a slave, which they did before Reuben could intervene. They took his coat and, after dipping it in the blood of a goat, made their father believe that his favorite son had been killed by wild beasts. The merchants sold Joseph to a high Egyptian official named Potiphar, whose steward he became. Genesis 39 tells how Joseph excelled in all his responsibilities, so much so that he became one of Potiphar's trusted servants, who made him ruler over all his possessions because he saw that God was with him and prospered all his works. Unfortunately, Potiphar's wife tried to seduce Joseph. He always refused her advances out of respect for the master who had shown her such confidence, because it would be a great evil and a sin against God to sleep with his wife. One day, she grabbed him by his tunic to make further sexual advances. So Joseph fled, leaving his garment in her hands. In her anger, she falsely accused him of trying to rape her, and Potiphar, even in prison, Joseph was blessed by God. He interpreted the dreams of two other prisoners, and his interpretation came true. The first of the two was released and restored to his position as the king's cupbearer, but he forgot about Joseph and did not tell Pharaoh about him. 2 years later, the king himself had disturbing dreams, and the cupbearer remembered Joseph's gift of interpretation. So the king sent for Joseph to tell him his dreams. Joseph predicted 7 years of abundant harvests in Egypt, followed by 7 years of famine. He advised the king to store up grain in preparation for the famine. Because of his wisdom, Joseph became powerful, the second most powerful. During the years of plenty, Joseph had 2 sons, Manasseh and Ephraim. Like Joseph, we sometimes go through difficult or even unjust life circumstances, but his example teaches us that if we remain faithful to God and accept that He remains in control of the situation, He will reward our faithfulness in due time. We can be sure of it. Who would have blamed Joseph for having rejected his brothers in their need? Yet he showed them mercy, for God delights in mercy above all other sacrifices.